Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. My name is Ashley. Today we're going to be talking about this movie, girl, Antebellum. I was forced to watch it and I'm pretty sure you can tell I hated it. So if you want to hear my review on this movie, then keep on watching. And let me just say, there will be a spoiler alert. There will be a spoiler alert, okay?
This is a spoiler alert.
Okay?
Spoiler alert!
Meaning I'm going to tell you the movie. Okay, so you guys, if you want to see this review, then keep on watching. Okay. You guys, I look crazy as hell, I know. But we're about to do my hair. So as you already know, we're going to be talking about the movie Antebellum. I watched it last night with Darren, my boyfriend. It was his suggestion. He is into scary, like, suspenseful movies. Well, I thought it was going to be scary, but it wasn't really scary. You already know that this is a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So if you do not want to be spoiled, if you do not want to know the tea, like the tea, because I'm going to tell you the whole movie, then don't watch this. Oh my God. Let's get into it. Let's just get into it. Putting on my wig cap, so I'm just going to do my hair and talk to y'all about this movie. I don't know if this is something I'm going to do all the time with movie reviews, but if I can feel compelled to do it, then hey, why not? And it's totally relevant. Girl, let's start at the beginning. First of all, this movie gave me such anxiety the first about 30 minutes, okay? I do not like movies about slaves. I do not like movies about white people being superior to black people and beating black people. I don't like, hell, I don't even like gangster movies, to be honest. I watch Paid in Full, but let's not get off the subject. I like Paid in Full and I like Scarface, okay? But in this movie, Janelle Monáe is the leading actress, and I have a couple issues with that in itself, okay? Janelle Monáe is a beautiful girl, but I am very particular about certain things in movies, especially when there are movies that are like going from the past to the future to the past. If you're having a movie where you're going in the past, why do I see this girl's perfect, beautiful veneers in her mouth? I don't think that slaves had beautiful teeth. So I want to see it for real. Understand what I'm saying? That was the first issue. Because I need to get into it. And another thing. So when the movie first starts, it's Janelle Monáe. She's getting beat, branded, like with hot coals. It's like very, very like, ugh. I hate that. Like, I was literally so tense watching it because I can't express enough. I hate stuff like that. Okay, y'all, I didn't write notes or anything, so I'm just going off of memory. I have my curly hair. I don't remember where I got this, actually, but I do have some new hair coming in, and I know exactly where I got it, so I can't wait to show y'all that. So I trimmed this, too. It was like 30 inches, maybe, or 28, so this is much shorter now. So anyways, okay, let's get to it. All right, so Janelle Monáe in there getting beat, branded. They're like, say your name, girl. And I don't know what, I forget what her name was supposed to be. Her real name was Veronica, but we'll get to that. So she wasn't saying nothing, just acting stupid. I hate that. And so she getting beat. Then he take off his belt. Then he's beating her some more. And then there's, you know, scenes where all the slaves out there picking cotton, of course. And then there's the one black guy who is mouthy, and so they're like, you speak when you're spoken to, blah blah blah. Y'all know how it go. They'll be like, it'll be times where the women characters is about to get in trouble, and so they look at him, you know, to kind of protect them or say something to create a diversion. And you know, he'll do a little something, but you know, of course not too much, because he's scared he's gonna get, you know, messed up. All right, so Janelle Monáe, one of the, I guess, the lead slave owners or whatever, she got to sleep with him every night. He humping on her, all aggressive, and she's sitting there crying and stuff. So I'm just, you know, I'm just painting the scene for you. So then, the whole time, she's trying to come up with an escape route. In the midst of this, there is a white lady who is like, I don't know, I guess she's that girl, okay? And she's riding around on her horse and she's letting it be known that she's that girl. She's an actress from back in the day. I loved her. I forget her name, but you know, once I edit, I'll figure it out. So she riding around letting it be known that she's that girl, and you know, it's like this thing between her and the black girls where you know how it is. So then there's this lighter skinned chick. Now, I don't know if she's a new actress or what, but she comes on the scene and she's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. What are we going to do? Talking to Janelle Monáe like, you said you were going to get us out of here type of stuff. What's the plan? What are we doing? She sneaks up in her room. Janelle is like, you need to get out of here. Like, Janelle is real tight-lipped about what's going on, right? The girl, she's a sassy one, okay? This little light-skinned curly-haired girl. She is very sassy, and she ends up going to, like, they have like this dinner, and basically it's a dinner for the Confederates, and that's when the main like slave owner guy is like, you know, you guys relax tonight. Any of these, they call them sapphires, any of these sapphires in here is yours for the night to do whatever you want with. And you know what I'm saying, it was just, girl, it was too much. It was too much. So then the light-skinned girl gets introduced to this guy, and he seems very shy and very, you know, kind of meek. And he's like, do you like her? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, talk to her. And so, you know, she sees his demeanor and she tries to use it to her advantage. Well, girl, so the head slave master guy is getting fed up because he's like, why are you even talking to her like this? Like, stop being nice to her. Like, she's here for the boom boom, and she'll be at your he'll be in your cabin at this time and ready to do, you know? So she's like, you know, she got attitude. I'm surprised he didn't pop her right there. So that scene goes, and then so he ends up coming to her room, and he's all like meek, like, oh my gosh, and stuff like that. Like, he really don't want to, he thinks she's pretty. He doesn't want to be aggressive with her like that, right? So she sees that still, and she's like, well, you know, trying to talk to him, run game on him type, like, see if she can get something out of him, or, you know, get out of here, or see if he's gonna be that one that's like not like the others. Well, girl, if he didn't flip the script, he was like, well, why did you talk to me? And she was like, well, it's been a long time since I've been talked to nicely by a man, and I just wanted to let you know I appreciate that. And so he's like, no, that's not what I meant. And she was like, you mean, why did I talk to you at the dinner, right? And he's like, no, that's not what I meant. And she's like, oh shit. Like, and he was like, and then his eyes got all demonic, and he was like, I meant, why are you speaking to me? And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it was so scary, yo. My camera's overheating. So she started getting scared. She started backing up, and he basically like flipped the switch on her and told her like, I'm as much as a Confederate as any other man. Like, girl. So, and then he hit her real hard in the face. He kicked her in the stomach, or punched her in the stomach. Something he did to her in the stomach really hard. So when she went to work the next day, she was all like black and blue in the face, and the slave master saw that something was going on, but he, you know, they don't care. They like, do the work. Like, we don't care about y'all. Y'all don't mean nothing to us. Janelle Monáe is like, come on, like, you gotta get it together. Like, come on, like. And the slave master saw them talking. And she's like, please, sir, she's hurt or whatever. Next thing you know, her stomach, like, her dress just starts filling up with blood, and he did something to her organs in there. And so she's like, oh no, oh, all this. She's like, can I please go with her? Can I please help her? And he's like, no, she'll be fine. And she fell down. And so he's like, go clean her up. They went off, whatever. And then the black guy, the head black guy, he said something, and the guy was like, what the F did you say? And so he went over there and like basically again trying to create a diversion. So the whole time Darren had to tell me this because I wasn't following. That was his girl. He felt some type of way, you know. Long story short, on this scene, the head slave master was like telling him, oh, go check the furnace, go clean out the furnace or something like that. And I guess they had like burnt her up in there. It was weird because I thought they burnt her up in there because all that was in there was her little cross. So it indicated like, yeah, we killed her. And so he just sat in there and he just cried and cried and cried and cried. But really, then it was a scene where Janelle Monáe was looking for her because she didn't show up to work the next day. And she herself like, so I guess she figured like, y'all ain't finna kill me, like I'm gonna do it myself. Janelle, that like snapped her, that broke her. So meanwhile, Janelle is, you see her like doing this weird walk across the floor where she's like really spreading her legs really wide. And I didn't know what she was doing at first, but then I figured out through the course of the movie that she was trying to figure out how and where to walk, so that she was practicing how to walk on these wooden floors so that she could eventually escape without anyone hearing her. So she did this every single day. She would wipe off this little piece of the door every single day, and you'll find out why that was later. Next thing that happens is, yeah, Janelle Monáe is very, very, very upset that the girl herself, because she was supposed to get them out of there. She was supposed to, you know, because she was the one that gets to be next to the slave master all the time. So I guess, you know, she in a sense felt like she failed the girl. So now Janelle Monáe ends up going to sleep after her and the headmaster do what they do. When she wakes up, it's in the future. So now they done transitioned into like 2020 or whatever. So she's this big hotshot book writer and PhD and all this stuff. She has a little girl. She has a boyfriend, husband. I'm not sure what he was, but he, you know, she has a man. So she wakes up in her home, beautiful home, little family or whatever. And so you can see that they have this to where she's like a girl boss, you know, and the man is like taking care of the little girl while she's doing her press conferences and things like that. She's on CNN, blah, blah, blah. So she has to go because she has to go to like a panel or something like that. So she's getting ready, and oh, the wardrobe, fire. The little girl acts very odd in this movie, and it really never explained why, but the acting on that one, I'm sorry, I know it's a little girl, but shaky, okay? You know, Janelle Monáe ends up going to her little panel or whatever, going to the hotel, right? She has to go to the hotel, some nice hotel. She's staying in like the executive suite, all this stuff, you know, like it's really showing like black woman about. All right, we back. Black woman about her business. So then they have Gabrielle Sidibe. I hope that's how you say her name, Precious. She's in here. She did outstanding. That girl is hilarious, okay? Let's see. So they're showing her in her hotel. Girl, I love that they showed the little Pat McGrath lipstick. Like, little things was like, okay, I see the placement. So the white woman from the slave place, you know, the head honcho white woman in the slave place over there, in the past, she shows up as somebody. We don't know who she is, but she ends up calling Janelle on like a Skype call or something like that, and she's like, you know, I'm sorry, do I know you? She's being real nasty with her, like kind of condescending and stuff like that, basically about her book and about, you know, her and stuff like that. So she's like getting a weird feeling about it, and she's like, well, she's like, you're so articulate, almost like you can't be articulate for a black girl type of stuff. She was giving all of that. So Janelle's like, okay, I heard, yeah, I already peeped what kind of party this is, so say what you got to say, and so I can be done because I got somewhere to be. She's like, well, you know, I'm gonna see you soon or something like that. And so Janelle pays it no mind, gets off the phone with her. Like, she ends up clicking on her, actually. Before she got off the phone though, she was like, I really like that lipstick. It looks so good on you. And I don't think I could pull something like that off. And I'm like, girl, please. And so Janelle ends up going. She has to go. She does some type of like yoga. And this is very, very cool because she's doing yoga. She's meditating, doing all that. She has someone in her hotel room, you know, doing this with her, like an instructor. And so in the yoga, she was doing a lot of like breathing techniques. She was wearing Ivy Park, another placement from a black woman, Beyonce. So that was cool. Body on Janelle Monáe got a nice body, okay? Janelle Monáe has a very nice body. I don't know if she's had work done, but she got a nice ass body. Gabrielle Sidibe comes in like, girl, like hell on wheels. And she's very extra. She's that extra friend who is a plus size girl but knows she looks great. Like, you're not going to tell her different. So she comes through. She's like, you know, what you up in here doing, girl? And she tells the white girl who's the yoga instructor, okay, bye-bye. Like, they're talking or whatever. So they end up leaving. Now, Janelle Monáe goes down to the lobby so that she can get ready to make reservations for this dinner. So she's trying to make reservations for dinner for the girls to celebrate. You know, they're all successful. She meets downstairs in the lobby with another white girl, but it's her home girl, so she's cool. So she's like, you know, I'm getting ready to go to my panel, but you know, congratulations on your book. They're congratulating each other. It's real cute, real girl power-ish. She, you know, she goes away, and then Janelle is like talking to the hotel front desk, and this is so, oh my god. So she's like, hello, I would like to make reservations for 7:30, and then a girl interrupts her and is like, excuse me, takes the phone call. And she's super duper nice to the person on the phone, and she gets back to Janelle and she's like real coy with her, and she's like, ugh. You can just see it on Janelle's face, like, this black and white thing again. So she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I've got the reservations. So now we're going to the dinner. So they have car service. They're dressed really, really cute. You know, they get to the dinner. They seat them all the way in the freaking back, all the way in a dark corner, like some little teeny table. And it's like, they want to celebrate. They want to pop bottles. And it's like, okay, another thing. So they're like, Gabrielle is like, no, excuse me, you're not going to sit us right here. You're going to sit us over here. And I'm not going to explain to you why, because you already know. So I was here for it. I was like, very, very good. Waiter, he's like, oh, you know, trying to offer them some cheap ass little drink or something. And he was like, would you guys like a Prosecco? Janelle was like, no, we're going to have blah, blah, blah. It was something real fancy. And so they get their drinks or whatever, and then they're just chilling. They're, you know, they're real cute. And somebody at the bar is staring at them. So Janelle says something. She's like, oh my gosh, you guys, this guy at the bar has been staring at us for like the entire time we've been sitting here. Okay, so he ends up sending over a drink to Gabrielle. And so, and it was so funny because he sends like some kind of vodka and cran, like some cheap shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so of course Gabrielle reads him down because he came to the table. I almost like this kind of messy, like no part thing I got going on right now. So she reads him down like, sir, like, and when she read him, I mean, she read him, and it was in a classy, sassy, nasty way. And she was like, and I'm still gonna give you my number. But she was telling him, like, the next time you see some badass bitches sitting over here celebrating with champagne bottles, what you need to do is ask, do they need a second bottle? Instead of sending over some classless vodka cran, you know what I'm saying? She ends up slipping him her business card, and, you know, he walks away or whatever. So now they're getting ready to leave after they've had, you know, their fun. So they get ready to go. They get ready to leave, but before they leave, Janelle is basically telling them, like, you know, I had so much fun tonight. The ladies are getting ready to actually go to like a, I don't know, after party spot, club spot, whatever, because Gabrielle makes it clear that she wants the she wants the something. So Janelle is like, I had so much fun, this is beautiful, but my hotel experience has been so off. Oh, you know what? I skipped something. Either sometime before this or maybe it was after this, there was a little white girl in the elevator, and she had on this old ass outfit, like some peasant ass dress. And she was looking at Janelle like so creepy. And she was like, hello, pretty girl, all this stuff. And she was like, shh, like, you're not allowed to speak. You're going to get in trouble. And she's like, I'm going to get in trouble for talking? Okay. So the little girl gets off the elevator, and she has like this little Negro baby on a collar, like a leash, and she's dragging it out. So it was creepy. So then Janelle goes in her room. This might have been before the dinner. I'm sorry, I can't remember. And the little girl's still in the hallway just staring. So that was weird. But anyway, so she tells the girls, like, my experience at the hotel has not been that great, you know? And she was like, and the white girl said, oh, that is so weird because mine has been impeccable. But you could tell she didn't even realize like this was a black and white thing. Like, again, she's real cool, but she's real out of touch. Okay, so she didn't pick up on the fact that it's because Janelle is black, they're a successful black woman, they're treating her weird. So she, you know, said that, and Janelle and Gabrielle kind of just looked at each other, and you know, they all got up and left. And so now they're getting ready to get their car serviced so that they can go their separate ways. So they're, you know, Janelle's getting ready to go home because she wants to get back to her daughter and her man. So when the car pulls up, Janelle gets in an SUV first, and the girls get in another SUV right behind her. Now Janelle is asking the Uber driver or whatever, can you please turn down this music? They had on this loud ass music in the car. She's like, can you please turn that down? And they did not turn it down. She's texting her boyfriend or whatever. And then Gabrielle and the other girl are in the other one. By this time, they're all tipsy, so they're like literally partying it up in the next car, and they can't see what's going on in the other one because, of course, they're blacked out. Okay, girl, let's finish this up, okay? Because I got to get to the nitty gritty. I got to get to why this movie pissed me off, because I haven't told you why it pissed me off yet. So I forgot something, and I apologize. At dinner, while the ladies were at dinner, Miss Mamas, the white woman from the plantation, who is now in the future, so this is just like some bad bitch that's just like, I don't like black bitches. She gets into Janelle's hotel room. Now, she goes up to her hotel room, and she is standing outside, and she acts like she cannot remember where her key card is. So there is a cleaning service guy, I think he was a Mexican guy, standing right there. So she does that, and she's like, can you let me in? Of course he lets her in. She gets in there, she's touching Janelle's stuff. She takes her piece of hair out of her own head, puts it all in Janelle's bed. I don't know what that symbolizes, honestly. She sits on her toilet, takes a piss in her toilet. Then she takes her lipstick and puts it on. That was gross. And then she did a couple different things in the room, messed up some of her stuff, and then turned the sign around to make it seem like Janelle didn't want her room cleaned. Now, fast forward, we're in the car. Janelle's in an Uber, which she thinks is an Uber. It's not an Uber. So, oh God, I forgot something else. Okay. The white woman delivered flowers to Janelle and just basically wrote some little cryptic message on there like, can't wait to see you soon at, you know, your homecoming or something like that. And it was just signed weird. And she's thinking it's from her man. Like, okay, so she's in the car texting her man, and she's like, you know, thank you for the artisanal bouquet, because it was like some old looking bouquet of flowers or whatever. And he was like, well, it must be from one of your many admirers, because it's not from me, because, you know, she's a public figure, things like this happen. And so she immediately is like, okay, this is not adding up. She's telling the Uber driver again, can you please turn the music down? And it just sounds like it's getting louder and louder, so she can't even concentrate at this point. Next thing you know, somebody comes up from behind her, puts their hand over her mouth. She's kicking, she's screaming, and she's screaming so much that he ends up hitting her head on the glass, and it's blood everywhere. So the driver was that woman. She says something to Janelle like about the lipstick, like, it does look good on me after all, or something weird like that. So they knock her out. So it goes back to the old days in the plantations. Now at this point, this is where she wakes up out of her sleep, and her little slave master guy, he's asleep. So she does like this to see if he's really asleep or not. He's asleep, he's knocked out. So now she's gonna try to make her escape, because this is it. They didn't kill homegirl. He keep on sleeping with her. Like, she gotta go. And it was like her having that sleep or that dream or that time lapse or whatever, let her know that this is not real. This is some shit where you got knocked out and now you're here. So she envisioned it. Okay, she does her little creep, and this is where the yoga comes in that she was doing in the hotel, because now she's implementing that and stretching her legs super long across this floor to only step like 3 or 4 steps on certain parts of the wood so the wood doesn't creak. Mind you, Darren's knocked out sleep, and I'm just watching this like, oh God, what's going to happen? Because now I'm into it. So she does that. She gets to the door, and this is where this part comes in, where she was wiping off that little piece of the door every day. It was to keep it moisturized so that it wouldn't creak. Oh my God, it's so smart. So she, you know, opened the door and she slid out. And also, you knew something wasn't right, and you knew this wasn't really the old days, because, and maybe this is why her teeth were like that. It's starting to come to me now, because it wasn't really the old days. This was present day. But I'm going to tell you what it was. So they had cell phones. The slave masters, she saw them with cell phones, and she was like, they got cell phones. Oh boy, I'm gonna just call him Otis. I don't know his name, the one black guy. Otis comes, and they had a plan, like they're whistling and making these, you know, noises. They had this whole plan revised. So she thought he wasn't gonna come. She was crying. She was so excited. She was so scared because she got a hold of the phone, and she's like trying to call 911. However, she's out here in the middle of nowhere, so it's not going through. So she has to get old boy to face. She has to go back in there so she can get his face to unlock the phone. She gets with Otis, and she's like, listen, Otis, we got to get back in there. We got to unlock this phone, because she calls 911, but the call gets dropped. So she said, all we got to do is unlock this phone and I can drop my location. So, all right, so here we go. When she gets back in there, yo, he was already up. He knocked her ass out. They started fighting. Old Otis hit him with an axe, and they all in there just scrapping. So Otis ends up dying because the slave master is like pissed. Like, how dare y'all try to, you know what I'm saying? He's like, y'all have no loyalty. I'm like, loyalty? Y'all are holding people captive. And now Janelle ends up murking this dude. Like, she cut him up, you know what I'm saying? Because they had like bayonets, they had all kinds of stuff like that, axes and stuff like that. So she ends up murking him. So he wasn't all the way murked though, because he could still talk, and his eyes were still open, but he was cut up, you know? So she's like, gets him outside. She's fucking this dude up. She's like, open your eyes, motherfucker. And so she punched him in the face, and he opened his eyes. She put the phone there. It unlocked. She hurried up and ran away from him and called 911 again. No. She called her husband. He answered the phone. He's like, oh my God, you're alive. Where are you? So she's like, I'm gonna drop this location. They got us out here. They kidnapped a bunch of us. There's a lot of us out here. Okay, so now the guy that punched light-skinned girl in the stomach, that the meek and mild guy, he's out in the middle of the like cornfield or whatever, the cotton field, with his homeboy. They drunk as hell, right? And they out there messing around doing I don't know what, whatever. So he getting ready to go back home. Janelle gets out there in the field. She ends up, you know, sneaking out there, getting closer to where she can get out of here. But I can't remember exactly what happened right there, but she ends up, like, the whole village is after her at this point, okay, because she done found these cell phones. she's running away. She done got on a horse. She trying to get out of there. Like, she moving around, like sis is moving around. Fine, like, it's so dramatic. She ends up getting out of there, and she basically, at the end of it, because it's so sketchy at the end, I cannot remember the exact details, but this is the meat and potatoes right here. What pissed me off is that Janelle is the one, and her and old girl get into it too. Her and old girl get the fight in like to the death, and I mean fighting for her life. Okay, she got all these men running behind her on the horses and everything, but she ran so hard and fought so hard to the point where there's like this point where it's just like everything is just paused, and it's like this imaginary line, like nobody can go any further, but she can, and she's running. So she gets out of there. And what pisses me off is once again, this black woman is holding this whole village on her back. And the whole time, Otis could have been the one, you know, technically she was the one that was closer to freedom, because, you know, as a woman, you know what I'm saying, they're using you as a sex object, and you know, you're the one who's the closest to the masses, because, you know what I'm saying? But I don't care. Like, the men never were brave enough to just say, screw it, I'm gonna risk my life to get these women free. Never once. And it's another situation which is very relevant right now, why black women are the workhorses. They're holding these men on their backs. They're not just saving themselves. Then they're going back to fight for everybody else. And she was just riding this horse out of there with this hatchet in her hand. And she was just screaming like, ah! Like, she was screaming with everything in her, like, because she knew she was about to be free. And it was redemption, but it pissed me off. Turns out the call was effective. The helicopters started coming. And turns out the whole time this was a reenactment park in Louisiana. And on the sign it says, if you disturb what's going on in this park, you know, you will die or something like that. It's like no trespassing. But the thing is, you cannot leave. If you are a part of this, you cannot leave. But she was able to get out of there. But all those Confederate guys and stuff like that, they don't leave. They couldn't leave. I don't know. It just like, it was reenactment, but it was so real to the point where they just could not leave. So they could only chase her to a certain point. Once they got past that point, she was out of there. FBI came and did a sweep of the whole thing and realized all those people were being held captive there. So it was really a futuristic time frame, but all it was a reenactment park. And I'm like, it blew my socks off when I realized that that's what was going on the entire time. Like, this is not real, and it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? So basically what I gathered from it was like they knocked her out. She had a concussion. Like, these people were plotting on, you know, black people and taking them to this place and torturing them and treating them like it was slave times. And they thought this because they were, you know, injured and being carried in. It looked so real. Like, it looked like it was back in the day, but it wasn't. My camera's overheating. But that is the review of Antebellum. I am not here for it. It was a wonderful film as far as how it was made and things like that. But there were little parts of it that were like, side eye. If you want to watch it for yourself, go ahead. But I just had to give my opinion and my review on it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me unveil my hair. I don't know, something about this movie though, it makes you wonder, like, is there something like this really happening in the US right now? Let me know your comments down below. Have you seen this movie? What did you think about it? If you don't agree with me, that's cool. But I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.